Hi guys, Amanda Parr here, and this is a 10-minute yoga break. I invite you to stop scrolling just for 10 minutes. Let's devote some time to our wellness. You know you need it. In this session, we are going to give some attention to the spine, take it through its different ranges of motion, coupled with some conscious breathing. We're going to do this from a seated position. You can do this in a chair, or you can do this on the floor. You can sit cross-legged, you can stretch your legs out, you can come to a kneeling position, whatever's comfortable for you. Meditation is the foundation of our yoga practice, so let's start by fully arriving in this present moment and accepting that there is nowhere else that you need to be, fully dedicating ourselves to this 10 minutes of self-care. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes and bring the awareness to the breath and just notice each breath in and each breath out. Even taking notice of the spaces in between. Let yourself feel the body in whatever condition it's in this moment. Notice how just by bringing the awareness to the breath naturally becomes a little bit longer and slower, deeper and more influential. Recognize the breath as the vehicle via which the vital life force, the prana, the chi, travels through the system and nourishes the body. With the awareness on the breath, we're going to inhale and open the chest, lift the chin, gaze up with the eyes, and feel this nice spinal extension, this kind of back bending position. And then on the exhalation, we'll round the spine, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and feel this nice spinal flexion, this forward bending of the spine. Inhale, lengthen, expand, and open. And on the exhale, round and compress. And continue to do this with your own breath, using the breath in to lengthen, expand, and open, perhaps pausing at the top of the breath for a moment before exhaling, rounding the spine, perhaps pulling the belly button inwards and upwards and lingering at the end of that breath before expanding with the inhalation again. Now the next time we expand open, let's just pause here in this position. Feel this nice openness to the front of the body. Feel that compression through the back of the body. And let's just breathe into this shape, deliberately breathing into any areas that feel tight, rigid, restricted, stagnant. Bringing the breath all the way to the base of the lungs and filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Letting the breath out slowly, pulling the belly button slightly inwards and upwards to complete that breath. And then coming back to neutral, let's just pause here for a moment and feel the body. Let the breath be natural and neutral for a moment. And then we'll round the spine, tuck the chin. And let's just pause here for 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Now feeling the expansion through the back of the body and that compression in the front of the body, giving some nice, healthy stress to all of the joints in the spine, which is an enlivening the body. When you reach the end of those 3 breaths without rushing, use the next inhalation to rise back up into a neutral position. Pause here, let yourself feel the body. And stay with the breath. Next, we'll take the spine into some lateral flexion, which is the side bending of the spine. Bring the left hand next to you and just hinge over to the left, creating some length on the right side of the body. Use the breath in to lift back up, and exhale, hinge to the opposite side. Use the breath in to come back to center. Perhaps this next round you can get your arm involved. Inhale, reach, lengthen. Keep that length as you hinge to the left. Feel that nice length from the armpit down to the hip. And come back to center in whatever way makes sense with the breath. Let the breath guide the movement. Use the breath intelligently to direct the breath and the vital life force to the spaces that feel restricted, that feel stagnant, that feel congested. And then the next time you hinge over to your right, don't rush to get there. Let's just pause here and take 3 long, slow, deep breaths, the longest, slowest, deepest breaths of the day so far. Perhaps deliberately breathing into the lower left ribs, perhaps into the shoulder, wherever you feel that restriction, breathe into that space. Expand the belly, expand the rib cage, let the chest and collarbones rise on the breath in. Breath out is slow and complete. And when you reach the end of that third breath, we come back to center, we pause, we neutralize, we feel, and then we'll do the opposite side again. So we hinge over this time to the left side, feel that nice length from the armpit down to the hip, and then we pause here and take 3 of the longest, slowest, deepest breaths of the day. Deliberately creating more space than usual, expanding those spaces in the lungs, around the spine, freeing up space, breathing into that space. When you reach the end of those 3 breaths, you can use the breath to come back out of it and release back into your neutral space. Pause here. Feel the body before moving into the next thing. There's one more way that the spine is capable of moving, and that's rotation, a little twist of the spine. I'm going to change my position. I like to be in cross-legged for this, but you can come into whatever position feels comfortable and makes sense. The left hand comes to the right knee, the right hand comes behind the back, and we're going to use the inhalation to create space between the vertebrae, lengthen, 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 draw shoulders away from the ears, and then use the breath out to press into this hand and twist from the base of the spine all the way through the base of the skull, feeling that rotation to the entire spine, gazing over your right shoulder, exhaling, rotating back to center, changing the hands. The right hand comes to the left knee, the left hand comes behind you. Inhale, grow taller, breathe into that space, keep that length as you twist around to the left. Just notice how it feels to breathe into this shape. Notice where you feel the tension, the restriction. Breathe into those spaces. See if you can find an equal balance of effort and ease, and release. And continue to move from side to side, breathing in, lengthening, exhaling, twisting. And then use the breath to rotate back to center. Do the opposite side dynamically with the breath, allowing the body to flow like water with the breath. And when you come around next time to the right side, let's just pause here and enjoy 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Deliberately bringing the breath to the base of the lungs, expanding the belly, expanding the rib cage in all directions, letting the chest and collarbones rise as the breath reaches the apex of the lungs. Expand, perhaps linger in that space at the top of the breath. Nice, long, slow, complete exhalations, pulling the belly button towards the spine. When you reach the end of those 3 breaths, come back to center, neutralize, and then do the opposite side. 3 long, slow, deep breaths here. And when you reach the end of those 3 breaths, don't rush to get there. Use the breath to come back into that neutral space. And then let's pause here and feel the body. Perhaps recognizing any changes to the way that you feel. Perhaps recognizing a sense of vibrancy and aliveness in the spine and the entire energetic system. Perhaps you want to sit here for a little while longer and just enjoy this. That was a little longer than 10 minutes. Haha, tricked you into an extra minute or so of yoga. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining. Namaste. If you'd like to practice with me again, click the subscribe button to get notifications for new videos. Check out in-person and remote class opportunities at soulscuba.com/schedule. Or perhaps you should just come see me in the Caribbean. Go to soulscuba.com/retreats to join one of my therapeutic adventures in Nevis and other idyllic locations.